This is probably my most revealing video to date. I definitely did not steal this house off the gallery because I was definitely not too lazy to make one myself. For those of you who have seen my build videos before, you know that I always do the kitchen first because I hate doing them and I just want to get them out of the way. So there was one guy, I remember I went to his house and like I'm quite a clean person, and his kitchen, I swear it made me heave because it was literally disgusting. Everything was in like 90s outdated beige, and like all of the cupboards were dirty and moldy, and it literally put me off for life, and I was like, I'm sorry, but I can't do it. So we're going for the rusty we're going for the moldy kitchen look. What absolutely great start. Although we had a black oven. That's a weird thing to remember. In the UK, everybody has a black oven, but there aren't really any dirty black ovens. There are only clean ones, so we're gonna have to go white. I also remember in his kitchen, the windows, they were like blinds, and they were all the way down, and it was like daytime, and I was like, why are these blinds down? It's literally the middle of the day, and everything was dark. Although, as in true Sims 4 fashion, we don't actually have any nice blinds, so they'll have to do. Although, you know what, I might just reshuffle the house a little bit and just get rid of one of the windows so we can have cabinets. The kitchen is definitely left dark for a reason. I remember he had really vile lino on his floor as well. Something, is that, there we go, that's dirty. It was white, but like I won't be too fussy. I also recall him having like a really nasty cheap table. Again, like I'm not sure if we're able to actually fulfill the exact aesthetic, but I'm gonna try my best. There we go. These were the chairs. These were definitely the chairs. Definitely from Argos, and they were absolutely rank. There was no decoration to be found in this kitchen, but there was a lot of clutter. And you know what I think we need? You know those like moldy wall decals? Here they are. Oh my god, I'm being such a bitch. Well, I've got to make it realistic. You guys are vicariously living through my dating life through The Sims. I mean, maybe I am being a little bit dramatic. Like, this looks something more like out of a horror movie, but trust me when I say, like, it was bad. He also had a few subsidence cracks as well. I won't let them slip. Like, if this is not a big red flag staring at you in the face, I don't know what is. So, I think this is as bad as we're gonna get. Next up, we do the bathrooms. Now, there was one guy, and I remember I went into his bathroom, and it was just like a cubicle. Like, it looked like a spaceship cubicle. Like, it was very functionable, and like everything was made out of the exact same tile, and it was like really weird. I know that's like a weird thing to say, but like everything was white, everything was like the same tiles. And I remember his bathroom just being covered in medication everywhere. I mean everywhere, which I feel like itself is a bit of a red flag. I just feel like if you've got so many meds going on, what's going on in your brain, what's going on in your body, it's just not right. I don't trust the guy who takes a million different medications. And again, I remember literally like everything was white, like solid white. And he literally had like cabinets everywhere. Oh, this was in Japan, by the way, so he had a smart Japanese toilet, so that is what we're popping down. At least that's one green flag out of the millions of red flags. Honestly, you cannot make this up. I mean, this entire house is starting to look like something of a horror movie. I mean, maybe this is why I'm single. Maybe this is why I'm still single. I remember his bathroom actually did not have any windows, so they can go. Although it just ruins the aesthetic of the house, doesn't it? What if I do you know what if I just pop the really intrusive blinds down, the get to work blinds, just cover those windows right up? That's a lot better. Well, it's a lot worse, but that's the point. And I would like the medication bottles. Like, I know we all have to take like different medications for different things, like it's normal, but like when it's like so much, I do think it is a red flag. I don't know what you think and feel about that, but that's just the way I see it. I would like a man who's emotionally stable and financially stable at the exact same time, and I don't think that's too much to ask for. Like, I'm not an anti-vax or anything like that myself, but I do prefer to go down the natural route if I can help it. Anyway, this is his bathroom. We do have a downstairs bathroom as well. I know it's really lazy. I know. I am just literally going to copy it over because like I really hate doing bathrooms in The Sims. Like, it's a massive chore for me. And today of all days, like I just don't fancy putting myself through 3 times lots of trauma. I wonder if any of the guys are going to be watching this video. Wouldn't that be embarrassing? I mean, embarrassing for them, not embarrassing for me. So now it's time for the dining room. The dining table is going to have exactly 8 chairs because that's the number of times that I got stood up. That's right, 8 times. No, it wasn't all by the exact same guy. Arguably, that makes it better, or it can make it worse. We're also going to have a tiny flower vase in the middle of the dining table, and this represents me. This represents the tiny bit of hope I have left in men who will not stand me up. The dark wooden flooring and the dark wallpaper represents the dissatisfaction associated with this room. Should we do a blue carpet underneath to represent my tears, or is that like a little bit too poetic? Like, is that like, I feel like that's getting into the realms of trauma dumping. Nah, go on, let's do it. That's the whole point of the video. These days, though, like, if I do go on a date, like, I honestly have no expectations because it's honestly happened so much. Like, I literally go into the situation thinking I am getting stood up today, and then I know I won't get hurt when I do get stood up. Although, like, I've been on more dates where I haven't been stood up than on dates where I have been stood up, so that's a bonus. Gotta see the positives. You've got to find them somewhere or else you'll go crazy. I want to put a bookshelf in here too to represent the lessons that I've learnt through the process of being stood up. And that lesson is, it's easier to convince yourself that you're asexual instead of actually making the effort to date someone. In a way, I wish I was, then I wouldn't have to deal with all of it. We don't have like a plain red flag in The Sims 4, which is a shame. But I found this red flag, and this is to represent the enormous, obtrusive red flags that I did choose to ignore. To be fair, this room looks quite nice, ironically. Okay, next we are doing the spare bedroom. Although I'm not going to use it as a bedroom, I'm not going to have a bed in there. Instead, it's going to represent the guy who was very, very vain and had his head stuck up his own arse. Don't get me wrong, I'm all for self-confidence, but in my opinion, vanity is the opposite of self-confidence because it does come from a place of low self-esteem. He was obsessed with going to the gym all the time, so we may as well have a bit of gym equipment in there. We may as well have a few mirrors dotted around too, because he did like to look at himself constantly. Again, something that I just cannot comprehend. I just feel like there are so many people in the world who are either extremely self-conscious about the way that they look, or they're extremely vain, and there's not much in between. I feel like I'm one of the only people who's in this in between, where I feel really confident in myself, but that confidence doesn't convert to me feeling like everybody else should look at me in the exact same way. Like, you're allowed to look at yourself and think, I feel great about myself, and not be too bothered if other people don't look at you in the same way. I think that's the best way to be. And just like this room here, he had no substance and no personality. He had his physical appearance, and that was basically as far as he went. There was no character, and that is why this room has no decoration, and it is beige. So the living room may as well be decorated around the theme of being ghosted, and we're going to make it haunted. That's right, I have been ghosted a few times. I mean, a few is a bit of an understatement. Probably more than I've been stood up if I took the effort to count it properly. Again, ghosting someone is honestly something that I just don't understand, because as a person, I'm like brutally honest. Like, if I don't like someone, I will just tell them straight, just so like they don't have any false expectations. I think people lead people on because they're chicken shit and they're too scared to actually say how they feel, which is a shame, you know. Like, it's not nice to be like that to another human, but at the end of the day, you can't control how other people react and act, and that's why I don't really like to let it get to me. In fact, okay, this video's getting a bit deep, but like when it comes to anything, I just think like, if someone's going to be a bit of a bad person, that's just because of who they are. Like, they can't help it, I can't help it, so there's no point in getting in a bit of a tiz about it. Absolutely loving the wallpaper here. I try and not let it leak into our kitchen too much, just the downstairs here, though I'm quite liking the look of this room. Look like you could have a nice old Halloween party down here. We have a hole in the wall here for the hole in my heart. I'm joking, there's not a hole in my heart. I just thought it'd be a bit of fun. Or is there? Maybe I'm repressing something, who knows? Again, we'll copy the exact same red flag over for the red flags that I did choose to ignore. In fact, we may as well have one of each of the red flags in every single room. This is my punishment for ignoring them when they're staring at me right in the face. In fact, no, the bathroom guy, I didn't ignore the red flags. Like, I got out of there quite quick, to be fair. I give myself that one. So I guess it's time to move on to the master bedroom. So this room is dedicated to the one who was very well, what's the word? Endowed? The guy had a big one, all right? So I'm not really sure how to represent that as a bedroom. He did have grey bed sheets, so we may as well go there. I actually remember that he had no end tables for his bed, and it used to really annoy me, so we're not putting those in there. He also had a rack in his room, like this, like a clothes rack, just full of clothes. But he did also have a closet, so what I'm thinking is we chuck a closet in there, actually, and put the clothes rack by the bed, which is where it was in real life. I do also recall him having a small TV and a PlayStation in his bedroom. Oh no, I stand corrected. He had an Xbox, to be exact. I guess, okay, we've got like this green one. That's the closest we're going to get to an Xbox, I think. I mean, that's a walking red flag in itself. Any guy who owns an Xbox instead of a PlayStation deserves a massive red flag. Oh, look at that. We have... do you know what? He was toxic. So should we have the toxic waste barrels? I want to find something to represent the size, because like that is something that I do remember. That's probably the only thing that wasn't a red flag. Although in a way it kind of is. I'm just trying to look through debug to find a debug banana. I'm so sure one came with Jungle Adventures. Am I going to have to go into Live Mode and get a bloody banana? Okay, what if I just get loads of starter fruits and just pray that a banana turns up in one of them? All right, did we get... Oh, we got 69 of them. What a beautiful number. Oh, anyway, can't wait to size these ones up. Should we have them like hanging from the wall as like hanging decorations? We'll have a few big ones here. We'll have one on the bed itself. We'll prop it up on the bed right up against another one. Absolutely perfect. I wonder if we have aubergines in The Sims 4. I feel like we do. Right, let me see if we can get a few of those in there as well. Why bloody not? So I didn't get any aubergines. I got some carrots. Not the most attractive shape in the world, but at the very least it'll do. It'll prove the point. I am not a family-friendly YouTube channel. Try my best to make it family-friendly, but like in videos like these, it's not happening. But anyways, just like a lot of the other ones, he didn't really have much substance, so there won't be much decoration in here. His aubergine/eggplant was his personality, and he had nothing more than that. We have the upstairs hallway to do. Who can this one be? This one. This one could be for the guy who had a tiny aubergine. In fact, I remember the guy with the tiny aubergine was very materialistic, so we're going for the get famous stuff. I feel like he was materialistic because he was overcompensating for the fact that he didn't have a big one. Some people have a big one, other people just have a lot of money and a hateful heart, and I think that's what this one was. All I'm saying is, if he has a lot of big, nice, expensive things, like he probably is overcompensating for something. I'm not saying what that something is, because I don't want this video demonetized, but I'm just saying, especially if he has a humongous, overcompensatory chandelier, you know what that means. Get out of there, because you will not be in for a good time. Although, if you are in for a good time and you enjoyed this very traumatic video, you might also enjoy the next video here. Thank you very much for watching this massive trauma dump. See you in the next one.